here's silly stuff that happens once in a while. A number of years ago, there's a game going on in California. Former Twins player calls into Rod McCormick in the Twins locker room, he's equipment guy, and said, would you go out and turn Adam Everett around? I swear, I'm watching the game on television, I swear Minnesota spelled wrong in his jersey. And Rod said, what are you drinking? You know, he said, no, turn him around and look. So he walked downstairs, come here. He turned him around, and it's the only time in the history of baseball that the team name has been spelled wrong. For those of you that aren't good at spelling, M-I-N-N-E-S-T-O-A. He was right. Minnesota spelled wrong. Then you can go on Major League Baseball's website, and that's why I have this. And it even says in the article, the only time in the history of baseball, the name of the team, they've spelled players' names wrong. We did that this year. Mansip, I think it was, or whatever mistake we had. But there's the name of the team, spelled wrong. Name of the city, name of the state. You know. So why? This is why. Now, every uniform that's being used has an addition. Now, this doesn't have a hologram. Oh, I lied. This one does have a hologram. Because sometimes when it's on the road, they screw up and don't get it. So you can go online and it gives you this printout. But it also has on the front the difference between a jersey you buy in the pro shop that's just team-like, it looks like a team issue. And this says 12, the number, 42, the size, and 08, the year. So if you say, well, what year did that happen? I can quick look and tell you it happened in 2008.
How many were printed like that?
One. Probably somebody went, seriously, probably went on lunch break, because there is some script going across, it's letters, and they, so far so good, and they came back and said, Toa, you know, what do people know outside of our state house? Now this is an example of my favorite player, Harmon Killebrew, 3/46/07, spring training jersey, when Harmon would come and do spring training. And I had Harmon sign an awful lot of things over the years. Greatest guy in the world, I mean that. And so, you know, Harmon Killebrew type jersey. Here are things I do when they have events. We had our celebration of the 50th, I'm reading it backwards here, there it is. And 50th anniversary, and you know, 1961, 2010, and the players all came back, and so you buy this, and I've got 31 players that returned sign this. And it just, you know, you do a display, and it's fun to do things like this too. And it's something all of you could do. When somebody says, what should I collect? I can't afford jerseys. Well, when an event happened, last year Camilo Pascual went in the Twins Hall of Fame. And then we had Camilo sign free outside for about 250 people. And that would have been a great time for me as Clyde the Collector to get in line and just get something that chronicles the event. Have them sign your ticket, have them sign something. But it gives an idea of some of the things we can do. In the old days, uniforms were a little simpler, smaller. Wool. It says up here Martin, as in Billy Martin, number 1. Has to be 1969. It is 1969. A good friend of mine called up the day after Halloween several years ago. To me, in my time, that means 12 years ago. And he calls up and he said, you'll never guess who was at my house last night for Halloween. And I said, who? And he said, Billy Martin. And I said, I got bad news for you, he's dead. And we laughed. Not that it's funny that Billy's dead, but he knew that and I knew that. He said his uniform was there. I've got the pants, the socks, and the hat. Long story short, 20 minutes later, I was over at Pete Chubb's house. I was over at Pete's house, and a kid lived 4 or 5 houses from Pete, and he showed up tricks and treating with Billy's uniform. Well, he knows uniforms. He's an old-time collector. Yep, the name's in the collar. Yep, it's real. So I go over to the house, and over a period of negotiations, I added this to my collection. Grandpa got a call from Billy in '69 saying, Griffith just fired me. Can you pick me up and take me to the airport? So he went out to Met Stadium to pick up his friend, Billy Martin. And he got in the car, put his suitcases in the car, and this jersey. And he said, I stole my last jersey. The old cheapskate, that'll tick him off. So when he got to the airport, he said, no, keep it. Thanks for bringing it. Well, Grandpa gives it to his grandson. And grandson wears it on Halloween, and I get involved, and you make a little donation to the kids' college fund, and that wasn't quite good enough, so he wasn't impressed that I was gonna donate money to his fund instead of that. So I said, well, how about if we give that amount to your college fund, and Grandpa's in charge of that, and I give you $100 to spend at Target. The deal was made. Sometimes you get lucky. Minor league jersey, the Rockcats. And I helped the Perkins family out with something. They needed help, and they said, here, this is a jersey Glenn got at the end of the previous year. They were going to change them. Nice red, white, and blue. They only wore the jersey 4 times a year on the major holidays in the summer. They wore them for 4 or 5 years. We're going to get new ones, players this year, take them home. So the parents gave me his jersey. His dad was a student of mine at Tartan High School, nursing ball. So I had Glenn sign the back, number 25. That night, about 11 o'clock at night, I'm laying there and I'm thinking, well, if they used them for 4 or 5 years, I wonder who else had number 25. So I go downstairs, punch it in the computer. It comes up that 3 years before, when they wore this jersey, because I could see a photo, Joe Mauer was number 25 for the Rockcats. So sometimes you're not smart, you're lucky, okay? So I had Perkins sign the back if I'm doing a Perkins display, and I had Mauer sign the front if I'm doing a Mauer display. And then I called the team up down there, and they sent me a color photo of Perkins wearing it, and they sent me a color photo of Mauer wearing it. So sometimes you're lucky.